Okay, question 10. So which of the following is not a technique used in segmenting markets? And so this is a segmentation question. And so from lecture 2.2, slide 23, I've already summarized all the techniques that you need. So essentially, we have trees there, we have conjoint clustering, we have bullseye diagrams, so right away we know fishbone diagrams aren't in there. Fishbone diagrams are typically used for cause and effect. What is not a key point in defining a strategy? So we know it's a strategy question, and the question asks is what is not a key point? And so from lecture 2.1, from slide 3, we know that we need to know what the market landscape is. That's the whole point of the 5 C's, to be able to craft and to develop a strategy. So we know that can't be it. Applying your advantages to a situation is from the definition in SMART objectives. We also know that's a part of crafting a strategy. So the answer is B, improving a weakness. Now the thing is, considering your weaknesses, yes, that is a key point in terms of defining a strategy. But part of your strategy does not necessarily have to be improving a weakness. It could be. But all the others are definitive answers, and this is a vague answer. So that's the weakest of the 3. The following is an example of lock-in. Okay, so the thing about lock-in is about the marketing techniques that prevent customers from switching, meaning these are the reasons why they want to stay with us. Well, the thing is, Walmart being a first mover is basically lock out because they get there first, and so the market's too small for other people to enter. Patents are a technique in locking out, and not only that, government tariffs are another way of locking out. So the answer is B. And that's because by offering customer loyalty cards, that's what they do. By offering people a free sandwich after every 10th purchase, you want to stay there. Because if you switch, you're going to lose your chance at your free sandwich. I don't know, always locks me in. But anyway, question 13. HP has decided to split their businesses. The computer and services business will go into the enterprise unit, and their printers and computers will go into the computer division. They say by dividing their forces, they'll bring diversification and growth by allowing each unit to focus. Is this a strategy or a plan? This is where you pretty much know that this is a strategy question. But it goes into the slides that talk about, is this a strategy or is this a plan? And so you have to go through each and every answer and just see, okay, well, does it make sense? Well, plan, no well-defined metric. Well, that's right, there is no defined metric in here. Strategy, they have a way to attack the market. Well, how? They just said, okay, well, if we split them up, that'll allow them to focus. Well, okay, you're focused, but how are you focusing? I mean, it's very vague, so it's not really a strategy. The argument that it's a plan. They are not applying their advantages to a business situation. And again, just because you happen to be in those markets doesn't necessarily, in no way does this question tell you how they're applying their advantages. So what it comes down to is A and C are both correct, and B is wrong. Question 14, what is the limitation of minimally viable product? And so we're talking about the lecture about MVP. And so that's from lecture 2.3. It involves actually 3 different slides. And so now we go through each of these answers. Focuses on features instead of a product solution. That comes directly when we talk about MLP. Get to cash faster. Reduces development costs and get customer feedback faster. That all comes off of the slide. These are reasons why you should do MVP. Getting to revenue faster means exactly the same as getting to cash faster. Wasted time and money means if you can get rid of that, it reduces development costs. Again, the words in the question aren't an exact copy of the slides, but it means exactly the same thing. So many potential customers, difficult to pin down. So what are you doing when you do MVP? You get customer feedback faster. That's what that also means. And so the answer is A. That's a limitation of MVP and why I teach MLP. Okay, question 15. Rex Dakar believes that a software app that traces driving and measures speed, red light running, location, etc. will be of great benefit. By tracing a person's driving habits, a family member can step in and do something to control the danger. He estimates it will cost $1 million to develop. Which of the following is most likely his target market? Target market. So the two key words are there is what are we targeting and is it a market? And so if you go back to lecture 2.2 and look at those two slides. Okay, so let's look at it. The thing about a target market is, what do we know? It's small, it's precise. So parental social media groups and parents. Well, parents is just nebulous. So parents could actually be maybe my overall market, but this is a parenting product. But it's nowhere near target market, so we can eliminate that. Parental social media groups. Well, there are a lot of different social media groups. So again, that's sort of nebulous. Parents who have teens and elderly parents who have traffic violations, D. The subtlety in that question is it says teens and elderly parents. Are teens and elderly parents the same market and concern? Not necessarily. Elderly people and teens react in different ways. So that's the weakness of that. The market is not homogeneous, it's heterogeneous. And so what it comes down to is the answer is C, parents of teens that have traffic violations, because this is about curtailing the danger. So if your kid never gets into trouble, then what danger are you curtailing? So that's the quiz. When you look at the answers, it doesn't look that bad. But what it comes down to is you have to take the time out. What are the patterns that we start to see? One is, do you really understand what the terminology means? And so when you look at the key concepts or the summaries or whatever, make sure you understand it all. The next thing is, can you find the right slide? What some people do is actually take a paper and write their own notes on one or two sheets so they can flip through it fairly rapidly. But the one thing you see is that a good chunk of the answers on this quiz are basically straight off of the slides. But the big thing is to first figure out what is the key topic of the question, because at least then you have it focused down. And then from there, go through each and every one of the answers. Try to eliminate some. And then normally can get to 50-50. And then there's some piece of information in the question that'll push you to one answer over another.